Hello, it's Robert Schwemmer and welcome to my channel where we explore above and below the sea and from the sky. I had the good fortune to visit Point Conception and document through my photography what remains of the Lighthouse station over the years. On my last visit, my good friend Matt McIntosh with NOAA captured some great drone footage with his DJI Mavic 3 Cine. My first two visits, I was able to document the first order Fresnel lens still in the original lantern room before the lens was relocated to the Santa Barbara Maritime Museum, where it's now on display for all to enjoy. I will share some of Brent Sumner's video of the lens exhibit, narrated by Executive Director Greg Orga, later in this video. I was personally involved in the development of the exhibit. In this video, I will share with you all a tale of two lighthouses at Point Conception through historic photography that I've gathered over many years, as well as my personal video and photography at the site. Cape has many nicknames over the centuries. Some sailors have their own nicknames, which personally I can't repeat in public. Mariners know it as the Cape Horn of the Pacific, dating back to the 19th century due to the strong winds and currents encountered rounding the Cape, and in the summer months often shrouded in fog. The first European discovery of Point Conception actually dates back to 1542 with Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo, but the Cape has been a sacred place for the Chumash, probably dating back 10,000 years. Even today, the isolated Cape is seldom visited by the public due to the restrictive military access, but it's still considered a sacred place to the present-day Chumash communities. Point Conception is a demarcation between southern and central California. The Santa Barbara Channel coastline runs east-west direction until rounding the Cape, then it runs in a north-south direction. With the discovery of gold in California in 1848, there was a sudden need for hydrographic charts of the coastline for safe navigation to guide ships and also to determine the locations to establish lighthouses. Scientists from the U.S. Coast Survey were deployed to the Pacific in that same year, with hydrographic and topographic surveys starting as early as 1849. Accurate latitude and longitude of Point Conception was needed. George Davison of the U.S. Coast Survey was put in charge of surveying the station in 1850. He would end up spending 6 decades on the West Coast, becoming a leader of the West Coast scientific community. Topographic survey of the nearshore coastline was used to determine geodetically as a reference point to delineate the shoreline and eventually across North America between coastlines. Alexander Bosch, superintendent of the U.S. Coast Survey, also wanted sites to be surveyed at Point Conception for a lighthouse. All the equipment had to be offloaded from a vessel carried up the bluff at Coho Anchorage. The theodolite weighed 300 pounds. I couldn't even imagine carrying that up the cliff. Field camp was constructed near Point Conception at Coho. It was interesting, the coast surveyors were paid $30 a month, but because of the California gold rush, when they hired a cook from San Francisco, they had to pay $130 a month. The proposed location of the new lighthouse at Point Conception was authorized by an act of Congress on March 3, 1851. That same year, Yankee Blade, a California gold rush sidewheel steamer with over 500 passengers on board, was slowly feeling her way south in fog. Suddenly, without warning, the steamer runs aground north of Point Conception, taking with her the lives of 30 souls. Summer of 1855, construction of the lighthouse is delayed. A petition from the steamship companies to the U.S. Lighthouse Board respectfully beg for a fog bell and a lifeboat at Point Conception. Its particular geographical position, isolated and dangerous, lying as it does directly in the track of the whole trade from San Francisco to Panama. The original Point Conception lighthouse, completed mid-summer of 1854, stood on a 215-foot bluff above sea level and featured a brick light tower rising through the middle of a 1.5-story dwelling. Government Inspector Major Hartman Bach arrived at Point Conception in August of 1855 and found that the Baltimore contractors Francisco A. Gibson and Francisco X. Kelly had built the tower room too small to receive the first order Fresnel lens, and much of the brick mortar had already wasted away. Plans were redrawn. They were ordered to tear down the tower and build a larger one. The Point Conception first order Fresnel lens was designed and built in Paris, France in 1854. Rounding Cape Horn and arriving at San Francisco, the lens was loaded onto a schooner, General Pierce, for delivery to Point Conception and put ashore at Coho Anchorage. The lens and pedestal alone in section weighed 5,500 pounds and had to be lightered through the surf. The Point Conception Fresnel lens had 16 identical prism columns, each with a central bullseye, and in 1855 sections were assembled in the Lighthouse lantern room. The lamp magnified by the bullseye equaled 1.3 million candlelight power, designed to cast a beam of 24 miles out to sea. There are 624 hand-ground individual prisms. Every lighthouse had its own light characteristic. Point Conception was a white light beam, 3-second flash every 30 seconds, with a total revolution of the lens every 8 minutes. In 1857, a fog bell was delivered to Point Conception. As you can see, it's being pulled by oxen and horses because it weighed 3,136 pounds. Just like the Fresnel lens, it had its own characteristic. So let's say if a ship was sailing by the Cape and there was zero visibility and you couldn't see the light from the Fresnel lens, you would know by the fog bell its signature and be able to determine your location along the California coastline. When the bell was fully wound up, it would go for 7.5 hours. An appropriation was made March 3rd, 1871 for the establishment of a first-class steam fog signal at Point Conception. It was installed near the cliff face, about 100 feet below the bluff from the lighthouse. Not unlike the fog bell, it had its own characteristic. With a blast every 32 seconds, each blast had an 8-second duration. By 1875, the first lighthouse dwelling had cracks in the structure and frequently was hidden in layers of fog. The mesa on the lower bluff was recommended for a new lighthouse. In 1880, the Lighthouse Board reported that Congress that the original building dwelling required wooden supports to hold it up. Congress appropriated $40,000 to purchase the land, right-of-way, and construction of a new lighthouse with an oil room and keeper's watch room at its front. The second lighthouse was constructed in 1881 on the lower bluff along with the cottage for an assistant keeper. The original Fresnel lens was relocated to the second lighthouse lantern room. The light was first exhibited on June 20th, 1882. Over time, the light station at Point Conception grew into a compound. Its remote location and lack of access to the services meant that the keepers and the assistant had to be skilled in maintaining the lighthouse, lens, and outbuildings. Keepers and assistants raised families at Point Conception. The children were sent away to nearby towns so they could attend school. Here's a view of the fog signal building with the foghorn. Third assistant keeper's house is in the center. Descending down the hill on the left is a wooden supply chute to deliver the coal. Two buildings in the distance with the smokestacks are the fog signal building. In 1906, a 40-foot chimney replaced the smokestacks. Eventually, crude oil replaced the use of coal for the fire boilers. In 1916, another modern advancement with the fog signal. It was converted from steam to air. They replaced the steam boilers and added compressors to operate a G diaphragm. And the diaphragm actually had a blast every 3 seconds, silent 4 seconds, blast 3 seconds, silent 50 seconds. Again, a characteristic of the point conception fog signal. Even with the new fog signal, the persistent fog continued to lay claim to splintered ships and smashed streams in the graveyard of the Central Coast. The U.S. military was no exception when the U.S. Coast Guard cutter McCulloch, navigating through thick fog off the Cape in 1917, is rammed by the passenger ship Governor, delivering a death blow as the ship sank off Point Conception. I'm going to leave you a link here to the story of the loss and discovery of McCulloch. I was the chief scientist on the mission in 2016 with the U.S. Coast Guard in NOAA. 6 years later, Destroyer Squadron 11, running at 21 knots in thick fog, made a course change 095 degrees, believing they had cleared Point Conception and were entering the Santa Barbara Channel. Navigational error resulted in the total loss of 7 destroyers and 23 sailors perished that night off Point Pedernales. This happened 100 years ago this year, September 8th. I will leave you a link to the Honda disaster. I did a video on that, commemorating the 100-year anniversary. In recent time, little remains of the Point Conception Lighthouse Station. Only the foundations of the assistant keeper's housing, fog signal building, and outbuildings support the aid to navigation. In 1973, the light was automated by the U.S. Coast Guard and personnel were removed from the light station. In 1981, Point Conception Light Station was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it's a rare opportunity to visit Point Conception and the lighthouse. I have made 4 trips to the site in 2007, 2010, 2014, and most recently 2022. During my visits in 2007 and 2010, the first order Fresnel lens was still in place in the lantern room, including the lens clockwork and weight. So let me take you on a tour through my photography.
This lens was being built at the same time in Paris, France. It was shipped around Cape Horn and then to San Francisco, then to Coho Beach, and first lit at the lighthouse on February 1st, 1856. And we call it a Fresnel lens because it was designed by Augustine Fresnel. Before that, they used argan lamps. And argan lamps had a flame, they had a mirror behind it, and they would reflect that light source and capture about 15% of the light source. Fresnel realized that light was a wave, and he developed these glass prisms, and he took all that light source through these glass prisms and directed them into a single beam of light. And it revolutionized lighthouses. Before that, a light could be seen 5 miles off. This lens, burning oil, could be seen 25 miles out to sea. This one in particular is very unique. It has 16 bullseyes. Those are those round circles up there. And it has 624 individual pieces of glass. Fresnel lenses worked just like grandfather clocks. In fact, the company who built this lens, Henri Lepeau, was at one time the official clockmaker for the King of France. And so they would attach a weight to the clockworks, and every 4 hours, the keeper would climb a stairs and wind that weight up, and then as it fell down through the middle of a spiral staircase, it would turn the lens. So let's turn this lens. See how slow it's turning? So this lens, every lighthouse has a different signature or characteristic. Because if you're out at sea in the middle of a dark night, especially in stormy seas, it's great to see a lighthouse, but you really want to know exactly which one you're looking at. The signature of this lens was it would make one full turn every 8 minutes, and that means it has 16 bullseyes. That means every 30 seconds you'd see that beam of light come across your ship, your bow, for 2 seconds. And you would look at your chart, find point conception, and it would say on the chart, 2-second flash, 30-second interval. And that's how you knew you were at point conception. You weren't seeing the lighthouse at Point Arguello or at Anacapa Island. So, and then there was a lantern over here that would burn oil. So originally they used rapeseed oil, which grew everywhere in France where these were invented, not so much in the United States. Then they went to kerosene. So they would pump the oil through here, fill it up. They were constantly trimming this wick, and it was a 5-wick system. So old lighthouse keepers were nicknamed wickies. This lens is 18 feet high. It weighs about 6,000 pounds. And we had to use 3 lampists. Those are the official people who can work on a Fresnel lens, authorized by the United States Coast Guard. And they took 2 weeks out at point conception to take this apart, and 3 weeks sitting right here, cleaning it 3 times and putting it back together. And this lens, I believe, saved thousands of sailors' lives during its 150-plus service at Point Conception Lighthouse.
You enjoyed visiting Point Conception, the Cape Horn of the Pacific, learning about the U.S. Coast Survey's work to establish a lighthouse at the Cape, as well as learning about tales of 2 lighthouses, as well as taking a modern-day tour of the lighthouse and introducing you to the Fresnel lens exhibit at the Santa Barbara Maritime Museum. I highly recommend visiting in person. I would like to thank my loyal subscribers, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and maybe consider subscribing if you're new to the channel, where we explore above and below the sea and from the air. Thank you.